Well, people in parts of Newfoundland and Labrador waking up this morning to strong winds and heavy snow. We're going to give you a live look at George Street in St. John's this morning. Parts, there you can see the roads had been plowed about an hour ago. They sure don't look like it now. Parts of the Avalon Peninsula are under an orange winter storm warning. Joining us this morning from inside that very storm is Ryan Harding. He's a weather presenter with NTV. Ryan, good morning to you. You know, as you were dancing to our weatherboard's music, trying to stay warm, I did see a couple plows pass behind you, but listen, there's already tall snowbanks there. This is snow on snow.
It is snow on snow. It's been an absolute winter of it in St. John's through to Central, the West Coast. Listen, over the weekend, parts of coastal Labrador were on for 50 to 60 kilometers per hour with winds over the 110 kilometer per hour mark. And we saw 55 fall last week in Gander along the Bayvert Peninsula and up into St. Anthony. But what's been accompanying this winter storm is the wind. You mentioned it off the top there, and it's the wind that's been a little unseasonable. We're used to getting high winds often here, but St. John's specifically has had two events with winds over the 140 kilometer per hour, so hurricane force winds, and we've hit 160 a few times as well. So I joked on air Friday here at NTV, it was January 30th, that it felt more like January 40th because it has been consistent snow, not just on the Avalon, but across Newfoundland and Labrador as a whole. But it's just coming with those winds that are bringing the temperatures down, but also knocking some things around a little bit. So yeah, it's been a little bit of a long winter, and this is just the latest, and it's in St. John's today. It's our turn. Yeah, okay, so tell me about that. Listen, people in Newfoundland and Labrador, they are well used to dealing, and hardy, they are used to dealing with severe winter weather. But tell me how those winds have really changed this story this winter. Well, there's a place in Port Basque, and that's where the ferry comes across from North Sydney. And that's not just an opportunity for people who travel to get home, but it's also how a lot of our goods enter the province. So our ferry hasn't been running a whole lot, and we're seeing that in the grocery stores. We saw it around Christmas time. There's a lot of packages still coming in that were expected under the Christmas tree Christmas morning. But it's our churches. We've had flooding. There's a town called Badger right now, which is under an order right now because of the flooding due to all of the excess snow in the lake region there. Burin Peninsula, specifically the eastern side and the western side of the southern Avalon, Placentia, Argentia. Every time we get, whether it's a normal amount of rain or this snow that comes through with the dense heaviness moisture in it, our communities flood as well. Down on the southern shore, the wind in Trepassey and the waves have knocked the breakwater down. So it seems like it's one community after the next with these high winds coming through, taking a little bite on the way out. You mentioned Hardy, though. There's not too many complaints. It has been a long winter, but it was a really long summer, too. And we had two really calm winters previous to this, so it's almost a good old-fashioned winter in one sense. Again, the wind is for sure on the high end, and it's been about a storm a week, honestly. There hasn't been a 48-hour period where we haven't been a 24-hour period away from the next storm somewhere in the province. But sure, look, you get a little bit of a sleep in before you get out and tackle the snow. You check in on Nan, and then you get up and get ready for work the next day. Okay, so I'm taking it then schools aren't closed, but can you just do me a favor and just calm my fears and people who are watching from home? You are well out of the way of that snowplow, I'm hoping, because it came very close to you in its last pass. I didn't. I'll be honest with you, I didn't even know one passed. We were dialed in. Well, and it must be very loud there with the wind. Listen, Ryan, when you're talking about things like school closures and roads and getting power back on and off to people, how is that in the region this morning? Yeah, you know, I haven't heard too much in terms of a power outage in this event in particular. Now, it's a different, listen, storms that come through Newfoundland and Labrador mean different things for different parts of Newfoundland and Labrador. So here in town, you saw the plows come pretty close behind me, apparently. So they're out and about and cleaning up. But for a lot of regions that don't have the resources the same as the capital city here, it is just that. We had rolling blackouts into last week province-wide because of ice on some of the mechanisms here that run that that show. But it's also the medical appointments, right? So yeah, schools are closed, and we're really good at making that call here. We know when to stay in. The plows are out, but I'm not sure if there's anyone else out on the Avalon. It might be just me today. So we know when to stay in. But here, I mentioned the medical appointments. That's a big one. So roads outside of the capital city, most people have to take those to get into a lot of these medical appointments or to the nearest larger community. And when you miss one of those, sometimes it leads into months and years of planning. And that and the travel, you know, we live on an island, and during a long winter, we like to get away. So we've got 3 people here at NTV, actually, whose travel plans are directly impacted today. So it goes a long range of things. Yeah, school closures for sure, a day off work, but it's a nuisance, and it's been a bit of a nuisance this winter, specifically in January. We're over the 100-centimeter mark at the end of January for St. John's. Since Christmas Day, Corner Brook, Grand Falls, Windsor over the 250-centimeter mark. It just keeps coming. It's that kind of winter.
I love you giving us such a great snapshot, Ryan, of what it's like, how it impacts people uniquely in your part of the country. Listen, I'm really nervous that plow's going to hit you. I'm going to let you go. Thanks for joining us from NTV this morning. If you like that video, make sure to subscribe to the Your Morning YouTube feed, where you can find all kinds of new content posted every weekday morning.